Oh, my banner. Travis Thomas here with the walking, talking, triple-double Ante Campbell, our esteemed producer, Division I baller, Fresno State, UTEP. Here on Hold My Banner, we cover all things Celtics, all things NBA, all things pop culture, all things of the world. Ante, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, two T's. I'm excited because WNBA action last night, so we finally got the season rolling, so I'm excited to watch more of that season this week.
Of course, we'll talk about that in this fine program. We'll bring Ante back, as always, to play a game throughout Hold My Banner and chime in on all things NBA as well, and WNBA clearly. But I want to start, obviously, with the Celtics. My reaction to the C's winning Game 4 against the Cavs, against the Donovan Mitchell-less Cavs, I should say, it's not surprising. Look, I correctly predicted the outcome of that game damn near down to the score. And I said, it's going to be defensive. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be intense. It's going to feel like the Cavs could steal it. This was before I even knew Donovan Mitchell was out. And I predicted this. So sure enough, you learn Donovan Mitchell's not going to play. And then it was still the same way I predicted it. Celtics did not get any style points from that win. It wasn't pretty, but who cares? They were tested. They punched back. They responded. In fact, I want to give a shout out to the refs because early in that game, not that Jayson Tatum doesn't always complain, but early in that game, there were a couple plays. He got a tech, if you remember, for cussing out a ref, trying to get some calls. They weren't giving it to him. It ticked him off. And what do you know? We talk about it all the time on Hold My Banner. Jayson Tatum gets upset. And the world has to pay because he is getting buckets on your face, upon your head top, and he did it all game long. In fact, listen, when this guy is aggressive, I think Jaylen Brown even feeds off of it. More on that in a minute. But Jayson Tatum carried the way for the second game in a row for the Celtics. And I keep telling you, I think this is here to stay. I think he heard all the chirping, all the noise from the talking heads like me and the fans calling him out. And I just think he got fed up with it. Then you compound that, in Game 4 anyway, with the fact that the refs weren't giving him the calls like he thought he should get. You've awoken a giant. And I think he's here to stay. Now, let's get back to Tatum and Brown because their greatness now is really starting. You can't ignore it. It's not going to go ignored because the numbers are here. Listen to this. Just the last few games, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And by the way, they beat the Cavs on the road. Clearly harder to do than at home. Don't get me started on them at home. But on the road in the playoffs, you will acknowledge Cleveland's always historically a tough place to play. It's harder to do. Listen to these numbers from both of these guys. Tatum, Game 3, 33 points, 12 assists. Game 4, 33 points, 11 boards. Jaylen Brown, Game 3, 28 points, 9 boards. Game 4, 27 points, 8 boards. I mean, these guys are doing everything. It's not just the scoring. They're crashing. They're facilitating. They're being leaders. They're playing defense. The bigger picture viewpoint, this is why I say all-time stuff. These are all-time nuggets. Listen to this. Jayson Tatum now has 12 career playoff games with at least 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 dimes. The 8th most in league history. Listen to the company Jayson Tatum is in. You want to talk about all-time great Celtics, I'm fine with that. But it's getting to the point where you cannot deny Jayson Tatum is one of them. LeBron, Kareem, Bird, Joker, Giannis, Wilt, and Elgin Baylor are the only players who have more. Can't deny that. Jaylen Brown is now, assuming they close out the Cavs, if he gets back to the Eastern Conference Finals, that will be his 6th in 8 seasons. For Tatum, it'll be his 5th in 7 seasons. Folks, these are numbers you just can't deny. Now, obviously, here in town, you are measured by banners, baby. Hence the name of the show. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got the ring. But that's another topic for another day. For these numbers that I just brought up, it's undeniable. These are all-time great Forget Celtics. These are all-time great players. They are putting up all-time great numbers, specifically Jayson Tatum. And by the way, when it pertains to Tatum and Brown, you can see it clicking now during these games and even after the games. They're having fun with it. Listen to this.
On that, you had the big three there in the last 2 minutes, and what do you think about your guys' execution offensively in those crunch moments? And then you also got pretty fired up after that play. Did someone hit you on that as you're going back down the floor?
No, Tyler, who the official who was running down the sideline, I don't think he was paying attention, but he was like in the play. So as I'm lifting up, like I bump into him first. I had to push him out the way, then catch the ball, then able to knock the shot. But it's like, it was like he was an extra defender right there because he was in the way. So that's what I was telling him to get his ass out the way.
Jayson also hit you like a congratulatory hit, and you look back at him like.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Jayson back for that too. I wasn't paying no attention, and he just comes out of nowhere and with a left hook straight to the chest. I'm gonna get him back for that.
I mean, then Tatum goes on to say, look, I've been lifting a lot lately. I didn't know I hit him that hard. Jaylen Brown said these guys can't guard me. I'm in Cleveland. I mean, these dudes are having fun on their quest to a title. They are having fun. And look, all the pressure, all the talk, all the excuses are over. You got to win now. The East is weak. The this is that. This player's hurt. The path. All those things are true, and all those things are worth our conversation. It's why we say them, right? But the Celtics now, you could tell, they're in a groove where they just don't care. They don't care anymore. They heard all the noise. It woke them up. It ticked them off. But now they're having fun. And what more can you ask for? So, overall, my prediction for tonight's game, it's obvious. And this is, look, this is why the Celtics drive us nuts, and they'll continue to do it. Bat bleep crazy up a wall, because you know it's going to happen tonight. I know it's going to happen tonight. Cleveland fans know it's going to happen tonight. It's not going to look like Game 4. It's not going to be low scoring and ugly and defensive and no style points. No. Tonight's going to be style points. They are going to beat the brakes off of the Cavs and finish this series at home at that. How many times have we talked about, they're a couple games below 500 at home. They're 500 at best at home in the playoffs. What are they doing? Not tonight. They're going to beat the brakes off of Cleveland in this series at home. Fans are going to be rabid. I mean, I can't imagine how drunk the drunk fest at TD Garden tonight is going to be insane. Cavs, hey, you did everything you could. I mean, you lost Donovan Mitchell. You won a game. Congratulations. It's over. I think the Celtics beat the hell out of the Cavs tonight and in this. And by the way, look around at all the other series in the NBA right now. Notice something? They all look and feel like they're going to go the distance, don't they? All feels like at least 6-7 games. Not the Celtics. Another advantage for the Celtics there. You could say Donovan Mitchell's out, blah, blah, blah. Cool. But they're handling their business and getting this series done, I believe, tonight. And that's just more rest for the players that are playing the game and more rest for the one you're waiting for to come back in Kristaps Porzingis, the one you need to get another banner. I keep going back to the banner thing, pun intended there, right? All right, now what would a Eastern Conference Finals look like against the possibilities? Let's start with the Pacers. We know what they are: flashy, young, hungry, energetic, exciting, on the come up. I mean, this is a real challenge. I think they could present a challenging series for the Celtics. The problem, though, with the Pacers is they play that Celtic style. That's really what the Celtics want to do. They don't want to play this Miami Heat culture nonsense. They don't want to play these low-scoring Cavalier games. They want to get up and down, run and shoot, just like pickup basketball. No one's better at that in the league than the Celtics. And the Pacers that's how they play. They don't play defense. They've never met a defense that they like. Advantage Celtics, but you will acknowledge, boy, that Pacers team was a tough out. I think that would be a tough series. Then you have the Knicks. Yeesh. You know, I was fired up for Knicks Celtics because I felt like we were just going to get that quintessential Boston, New York thing that is just the gift that keeps on giving, right? But I think Chandler Parsons said it the best with this statement. Look, I mean, he blames Tom Thibodeau for New York's injuries. Quote, this is why that players poll came out with guys that don't want to play for Tibbs because it doesn't last. You can't sustain it in such a long season. Now, I saw the reactions to this on Twitter when it came out, and everyone say, oh, Chandler Parsons, what did you ever do in your career? Oh, Chandler Parsons hates New York, blah, blah, blah. How about let's focus on what he's saying because it's facts. Look at the long list of injuries in Tibbs' tenure, and I like him. I think he's a tremendous coach, but he is running these guys ragged. I mean, I remember stories about Tom Coughlin. Michael Strahan always tells this story of those Super Bowl years when they did beat the Patriots. And Strahan says, you know, Tom Coughlin was a hard ass and just wouldn't listen to any of us, and he would run us ragged. And finally, we broke through. We broke through to him and said, you got to take it a little bit easy on us. He adjusted. I believe there was some pressure from the front office as well and ownership. He did adjust, and the rest is history. Unfortunately, we know around here all too well what happened in the Super Bowl. But that's what I think about Tibbs is at some point he's going to have to adjust because look at the Knicks injuries, but you can go back. Check the receipts. You think Derrick Rose, I mean, couldn't have used a coach that maybe, I don't know, took it a little bit easy on him? You think his career would have gone a little bit differently? I certainly do. The history is there with this coach. So I say all that to say, even if you get the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, they are a walking mash unit. It's Jalen Brunson and a bunch of bandages, ace bandages and Band-Aids and hydrogen peroxide around them. Like, you don't know what you're going to get with the Knicks because they're already banged up and they're playing, their gas light is on. Like, how many more miles do they have left in that tank? So sure, congrats, you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks, you play hard. You're tougher than a $2 steak. You will be a sacrificial lamb to the Boston Celtics because you don't have the bodies. You just don't have the bodies. So either way, I know people are saying it's an easy path to the finals and all that, and it may be. But either matchup right now advantage Celtics. And listen, I think it puts the spotlight more on the Celtics to end this series tonight. Get your rest. Get Porzingis back in the fold here for the Eastern Conference Finals. And just hope the hell all these series around the league go 7 games, which, by the way, looks like it's not far-fetched to think that. So translation, see you all in the finals, right? At least we think. All right, let's bring them back in. Ante Campbell, our producer extraordinaire. We always play a game during this portion of the program. I have no idea what this guy's going to throw at me, but I'm ready for it. Bring it.
Yeah, I quickly want to say, Travis, the Pacers would be a fun series. I don't want to watch the Knicks.
It would.
Honestly, like, Tibbs ruined basketball right now.
He ruined basketball?
He's got to slow down. He's got to stop. Like, what? He's got to stop. I hate seeing Julius Randle out. I hate seeing OG Anunoby out. Now Jalen Brunson is hobbled.
He's banged up.
And he might not perform to the best of his abilities in the rest of this series.
Right.
Like, I'm tired of this, Tibbs. You took D Rose from us, man.
He did. But listen, he's not ruining basketball. He doesn't need to stop.
Yes, he is.
He needs to tweak. Right? Hey, listen, Tay, all of us in whatever industry, right? You got to pivot a little bit. You got to be willing to change.
100%.
You got to be a little more spontaneous, on the fly.
100%.
And Tibbs is not. Tibbs is like, this is my way. This is how I do things. Okay. Right? You have a great situation in New York.
Yeah.
You got the fans buying in. You got the players buying in. You already have this reputation of running guys ragged.
Yep.
If you blow this, what you have in New York right now, in the Big Apple, I mean, this could affect his career moving forward. He needs to adjust.
Yeah.
Just don't be so rigid. That's all.
Yeah, I can see that. But, I just had to give that little rant off real quick.
You got it all.
All right, Trav. So we got a new game for you this
All
time,
right.
all right? This one is speak when you hear a player better than ... Today,
Speak when you hear a player better than.
Yep.
Okay.
Today we're
All right.
starting with Jalen Brunson, okay? So when you hear a player's name
Okay.
that is better than Jalen Brunson, so
Okay.
their peak against Jalen Brunson's peak, which
Okay.
is probably right now
All
in
right.
your mind.
All right, do me a favor.
Yep.
Okay, because we didn't talk about this before, so I'm bringing people behind the curtain here.
Okay.
Give me some layups. I don't want to speak right off the gate. Okay, don't start right out and say Joker, and then I'm like, well, yeah, duh. Give me a couple layups, would you? Because I want to give some respect to Jalen Brunson. I'm a huge fan.
Okay. I'll start out with this one.
Okay.
CJ McCollum.
Stop. I mean, I'm not. Go on.
Okay.
Not stop, really, but stop. Give me a better layup than that. You know damn well.
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. Ooh. This is interesting. Can we talk it out? Am I allowed to talk it
Go
out
ahead,
with you?
talk it out.
Okay. I think Jamal Murray is a better player than Jalen Brunson.
Wow.
And some of it is probably the prisoner of the stage.
Okay.
I've seen him in Western Conference Finals and NBA Finals make
Yep.
clutch shots. I've seen him rip the heart out of the Lakers twice.
Yeah.
2 years in a row, rather. I
Yeah.
just, his tantrum, I don't love the Jamal Murray I've seen these playoffs. I've seen a different side of him. But I think I would take Jamal Murray over Jalen Brunson.
Okay. I feel like
It's close.
Should I even run through the rest of the
Yeah,
list?
I know. Go on.
Okay. Rajon Rondo.
Oh. Okay, I like Brunson's offensive bag more than Rondo. But Rondo was, what am I supposed to say? He's a legend. But
Yeah.
I'll go Brunson there. I won't talk.
Okay. BD. Baron Davis.
I'll go Brunson.
Okay. Monta Ellis.
Brunson.
John Morant.
Okay, because of maturity, I'll go Brunson.
Wow.
By the way, this game doesn't work because if I'm not talking,
Yeah.
it's dead air.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to just say, bro, I'm going to say which player.
Okay. And then Jaylen Brown.
I'd rather have Jaylen Brown. Athletic. I think he's more durable, quite frankly. I think what Jaylen Brown does is more sustainable because of his physicality and his athleticism than Jalen Brunson.
Okay. I can see that. What about Donovan Mitchell?
Okay, so this one's very interesting. This is a worthy discussion.
Okay.
Because they both really do the same thing. They both have a dog in them. They could both take over games.
Yep.
Offensive bags, great.
Be careful here.
Willing defenders.
Okay. Yep.
You know what? I'm going to go Jalen Brunson here. You know why? Here's
Stop,
why.
Trav,
No,
stop.
here's why. Here's why.
Okay.
It's when you get drafted in the NFL and they use that word intangibles.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Brunson's intangibles are better than Donovan Mitchell. I think I get more of a leadership vibe from Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
But that is a very good one.
Yeah, you basically just said that Jalen Brunson has more aura than Donovan Mitchell. All right, whatever. Anthony Edwards.
No, stop.
Okay, and then obviously last, because just in case you were
Tatum.
being crazy, no, Stephen Curry.
Come on. Look, you said a few names in there.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell's more than fair. That to me is the best comp.
Okay.
And right now, again, Mitchell got hurt, so it's unfair to say
Yeah.
this. But Jalen Brunson just feels like he's leading his team more. That's all.
I think those three legends that we brought up with Rondo, Baron Davis, and Monta Ellis are some good, tough ones for me too, personally.
Yeah, for sure. Baron Davis was a very tough one for me.
Yeah, but all right, let's talk about D. Mitch now. His name has been floating around with trade rumors.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to see where you think the best place would be, obviously, for him in the future.
Cleveland. This is the plight of the Cleveland athlete. This has happened my whole life. Cleveland athlete
Yep.
ends up in Cleveland, begrudgingly sometimes, but gets there, then creates hope. It's like, man, Cleveland's got a tough team. They're in the playoffs. If they could just get another piece or two,
Yeah.
Cleveland athlete. I'm not even saying LeBron, but LeBron fits this narrative too. But I've seen it. Just rinse and repeat the athlete. But I've seen it my whole lifetime, where there's hope. Like a man. Let's get some more pieces for this Cleveland athlete, right?
Yep.
No one wants to go to Cleveland, so they can't get the pieces necessary.
Right.
What happens? Cleveland athlete who created hope then says, duh, get me the hell out of here. No one wants to come here. I'm leaving. I can't win in these conditions.
Yeah.
They leave. Rinse, repeat, Groundhog's Day. Hello.
Yep.
This is what happens to Cleveland. The best spot for Donovan Mitchell's right there. Darius Garland continues. They have young talent all over the place.
Yeah.
Continue to develop. Try to get another veteran piece. It ain't going to work.
Yeah.
And then Donovan Mitchell will force a trade. I'm telling you.
I don't know about that one. I don't know if he should stay in Cleveland. I think what they've done is it's been great, but I don't think they get any better from where they are right now. So I personally have 3 quick teams that I want to run through for you. The 76ers, the Phoenix Suns, and the Sacramento Kings.
Now, I don't love that.
It's 3 different tiers of teams. I think the 76ers would be the best fit.
That's a good fit.
Him, Maxey, and Embiid would be amazing.
Because Maxey is. I want Maxey to continue to grow, but he's proven he doesn't. He'll play his role.
Right, and hopefully they bring Oubre back as well. That would help out that team a lot.
I don't love the Kings because I like the young core they have. I think you need veterans. I don't know if you need a Donovan Mitchell veteran who's going to command the ball as much.
I can see that, but I see Fox as a playmaker. I see Sabonis as a playmaker who could really set him up as well. And he really likes to play off the ball. He can play on the ball. Obviously, he's done that in his career, but he can also play off. And then Phoenix, I just say if they're getting rid of Durant and hopefully Beal, as we've talked about many of times, then him and Book could be a great duo to watch.
They could. Here's the issue. It's not even your scenario that you just laid out, which makes a lot of sense. It's more that the Phoenix Suns organization needs an exorcism. And unless they get that, none of this stuff is going to work. For all the latest on the Patriots, check out Foxborough Rush. For the full episode, go on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your podcast. Foxborough Rush. Hey, I love talking football season, even when it's the off season for football season. How about this? We were talking about this, you and I, off camera.
Yep.
I mean, look, the combine's looking pretty good right now with these kids. The draft lottery's out. What team do you think, now that we have the draft order, at least for the lottery, who do you think should be trading out of their first-round pick the most? Because I'm going to go Wizards at 2, bro. Honestly, the Wizards have so many holes on their roster, Ante. It looks like Swiss cheese. This isn't a great draft. The top guy's the top guy. Outside of that, all these dudes are interchangeable. So I would trade out of 2.
Yeah.
And by the way, outside of Denny Avdia and Kyle Kuzma, you didn't get consistent effort from any of your damn players on your current roster.
Yeah.
So on draft night, I would move draft pick, and I would move players too.
Yeah.
And I would try to acquire more players and just rebuild my roster because what they have is trash.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that 2 was definitely a spot I was looking at when I was looking at this list of teams. The Wizards just don't draft well, so I would like to probably see that as well. But mine was actually the pick right after that, the Houston Rockets at 3. I think they need to get a veteran in their system. So if they can trade that pick instead of getting another young guy, that would be great for them. And then I also look towards the Chicago Bulls at 11, a lot for the same reasons that I just talked about with the Wizards. They haven't really drafted too well.
Right.
It's probably about time for them to blow it up. Get a pick in the 2025 draft that's a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
And then obviously rebuild. I want them to blow up. They can't because Lonzo accepted his $20 million, but it's time.
How about the combine? I mean, look, 2 things stood out to me. I want to talk to you about Bronny James, obviously.
Yep.
But I also thought this Alex Sarr kid looked the part. I mean, I know he's Wemby light. He doesn't look as fluid, as quite as skilled, not even really as athletic per se as Wemby did. Wemby's just a freak, but he's not far off. So I was curious to kind of see if what I saw matched the hype. And even the fact that he just did the workouts was impressive to me. How many times we see these athletes, I'm going to be the top pick. I ain't doing a damn thing.
Facts.
So I liked that gave me a little bit of dog there with him. He impressed me. And listen, as far as Bronny James, I thought like he didn't wow anyone, but he also didn't embarrass himself.
Yeah.
He looks like an NBA player to me.
Yeah.
And by the way, you and I have talked about this. I want him back at college to continue his development as a player.
Yeah.
But this is probably realistically the only time his dad can get him drafted to his team. Does that make sense? I'm not even trying to be funny. Like LeBron can, whatever team he's on, Lakers, Cavs, more on that in a minute, wherever.
Yep.
LeBron can say, listen, draft my son and I'm coming to play for you. And realistically, a team can do that because he's not going to be some high pick. So those were my takeaways from the Combine. What say you?
Yeah, we'll get back to Bronny in a second here, but I want to point out Bub Carrington. From Pittsburgh, actually. He shot the cover off the ball this week, and he's going to continue to do that in the NBA when he gets an opportunity. I have a friend who lives in Pittsburgh, and he's been shouting this dude's praises for the last year. Freshman guard in the ACC, did what he was supposed to do. He's going to be a good NBA player in the right system, so I was excited to see him performing well, and he got an interview the other day during the Combine scrimmage as well, so it was good to hear him speak. And then I also want to shout out Antonio Reeves. He looked great from Kentucky. He's a guard, fifth-year player there at Kentucky. He had 17 points and 4 assists in the scrimmage game where Bronny didn't do as well.
Right.
And he just looked great. So I think he really upped his stock and gave himself an opportunity to get his name called when that draft comes in a couple of weeks. So I just really quickly wanted to shout him out as well.
Well, what do you think of Bronny? Because I told you, to me, I wasn't expecting the moon, but there was a part of me that thought he was going to kind of flop in this, and it would be obvious to everyone that he's not an NBA player, and he didn't do that. He did feel like he belonged. He did show he belonged. And by the way, all the experts, all the scouts say he's an NBA-ready defender right now.
Yeah.
And he's also a very good shooter. So, I mean, hell, you can't do that in the NBA? Like, go. Now, again, I want him in college because I want to see all that he can do. I want him to fully develop, come into the league and get buckets and, like, be a real player. But, again, I mean, Ante, his dad can get him drafted to wherever he is right now, and LeBron teams can always use more defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I think he's going to have some time before he gets to be an actual NBA player. And I think Woj had brought it up. He said that, hey, he's assuredly going to the G League. He's going to probably pack out G League arenas over the next year, which is probably what he needs, honestly. He doesn't need to be in the NBA with the limelight because he's probably not ready to play. And he's probably going to sit out and watch a lot of games, and there's going to be a lot of cameras in his face and putting a lot of pressure on that head coach to play him when he's not ready. And, that could really stunt a player's growth. So I think he should probably honestly get drafted late in the second round.
Okay.
That's kind of where you take guys. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, you already have told me that you don't subscribe to what I believe, which is, let's say it's the Lakers.
Yeah.
LeBron says, draft my kid, and they do it. You're not buying that.
No.
Oh.
No, I don't think he should be with his dad. I think he has to carve out his own career. Being with his dad is just going to create even more of a issue with the media and all that type of stuff.
Okay, well, hold on a second.
I'm not with that.
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Then this kid needs to go back to college.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? I mean, look, guys who go to the G League early, who should come back to college, but they go pro, they get drafted, and they play in the G League. Yeah. They do it for money.
Yeah.
Because they need to.
Yeah.
Their family's in a situation, whatever it is.
100%.
Bronny doesn't have that.
No.
Take your ass back to college, man.
No, I was with you. You know what I mean? I wanted to see him go to Duquesne. I just talked about Pittsburgh.
Right.
I wanted to see him to go to Duquesne
Couldn't
and
he
play
stay with Musselman?
Or he could do that as well. I would have loved either option, honestly. But, obviously we know this is his time to get in the league for sure.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of got to take that. What teams would you like to see him play for if he were to get drafted
I
this year?
completely disagree with you. He should play with his dad. He should play on his dad's team.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where it is.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, let's get to that. Could be Cleveland because LeBron was in the house checking out the Celtics beating the hell out of the Cavs. My man had a full a whole bottle of wine with him, too.
Yep.
But, of course, Ante, you knew this was coming. I knew this was coming. The Cleveland crowd showed him the utmost love. Check this out.
Cavalier fans, welcome back to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse from St. Vincent, St. Mary High School in Akron, Ohio. Number 23, LeBron James.
So, of course, they showed LeBron the utmost respect, the utmost love, as they should, for the rest of time. But, Tay, obviously it begs the question. I mean, LeBron, Cleveland reunion, possibly. Look, I don't see it. I think we've already been down that road too many times. It feels like he brought the title back there. I like this Cleveland team, but they're not loaded to the point where I feel like if he goes back to Cleveland, they can win a title.
Yeah.
So I'd almost rather him kind of leave that chapter behind him the way he did, if that makes sense, with winning a title. And then even the LA move at the time made sense to everyone. He was in that stage of his career. He made that awful Space Jam 2 that even my kids, Ante, my kids are 6 and 5 years old, and they say, we like the Michael Jordan Space Jam better. How about that?
That's a hit to LeBron's legacy.
I mean, I'm just saying, they like LeBron's Space Jam, but they're like, Michael Jordan's is better. This is a 6 and a 5-year-old saying this. So, but listen, he should always be worshipped in Cleveland.
Yeah.
We understand that. I like to just believe there was no behind-the-scenes stuff. It wasn't calculated. And I just think, obviously, he owns a house there. He just went and checked out the game, and that was it. And he was obviously a Cleveland fan because he left up out of there before it was over.
Right.
But I don't really. Now, this doesn't mean I don't see him maybe leaving L.A. and going to a different team.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. But my gut says it won't be Cleveland. And by the way, Tay, my gut says he's going to stay in L.A. with the Lakers.
I think you're probably right. It's probably not Cleveland, but we know LeBron is very calculated.
Yes.
And the last time that he showed up to an opposing team's game was when he was in Cleveland, and he showed up to the Laker game in 2017.
I remember.
So now he's on the Lakers showing up to a Cleveland game.
Yep.
There's definitely those question marks, but I agree. He's definitely – I won't say definitely. There's not a non-zero chance that he's going back to Cleveland.
Right.
But I want to know from you, what percent chance do you think there is that he goes back to Cleveland?
I don't know. It's low. Look, the only way it would make sense is if, first of all, we've already talked about the Donovan Mitchell possibly being traded and all that stuff. All that stuff has to sort itself out. He would have to have this team as it is right now. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, I don't know, how he feels about Bickerstaff as a head coach. Is that a guy that he would want to keep?
Right.
I mean, listen, coming into the series against the Magic, Bickerstaff was on the hot seat. Mm-hmm. So, that's sort of a thing.
Yeah.
I know we disagree with this, but I would think the Cavs would have to almost ensure that they draft Bronny, especially that city. Being back home, he would want his son there.
For sure. That's where
if
Bronny
all
was
those
born.
things kind of happen, they stand pat. Maybe they get him a coach. Maybe it is JJ Redick for the Cavs instead. I don't know. You draft Bronny. If those things are in place, you got to put a lower percentage on it. Maybe I'd put it at 10, 15%. But I don't see it. I just don't think it's going to – it just doesn't make sense in his lineage and his legacy to go back. It's just – he's already been there, done that, has a T-shirt and a ring.
Where he's at in his career, I agree. It doesn't make sense. But this is kind of a LeBron-built team. You got shooters that space the floor. You got a dynamic point guard with Garland.
But are they a championship team, Ante?
That's
the thing.
He took a worse team to the finals before, so –
he was much younger.
He was a little bit younger, but he's taken worse Cavalier teams to the finals.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say there's this couldn't be. We know the East is hobbled and kind of weakened right now with him being over in the West.
Right.
So he have to only really beat the Celtics once again. Wouldn't that be a story? But I mean, I would think it would be fun, but I don't think it's going to happen. I actually have it a little bit lower than you. I'd probably say like 5 to 7% chance he returns to Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, Why would you? I don't know. Now, let's talk where if he doesn't go back to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Does Golden State make sense?
Yeah.
It's not a. In other
I
words,
don't know what makes sense.
Well, it's not a long list though.
No.
Right? He's always kind of flirted with New York. Do the Knicks make sense?
Him and Tibbs ain't rocking.
That's fair.
I don't see that.
That's fair. These are the things you got to think about when you start sort of speculating. Well, where could this guy go?
Maybe him and KD end up teaming up somewhere.
It won't be Phoenix.
If KD,
right?
We know KD's not happy there. It's been well documented. So maybe they team up somewhere.
Yeah, but
Who
you got
knows
to
where that
trade.
is?
You have to trade for KD.
Yes.
The Lakers don't have the assets.
No.
So you can't get KD to LA.
No.
Which is a problem. LeBron ain't going to Phoenix. I don't even think Kevin Durant wants to be there. So it's something there. Could they play in Cleveland? Could they play in New York?
Right.
I don't know.
Too bad Pat hates LeBron now. Otherwise, they could maybe team up in Miami again.
Yeah, no. Pat is not going down. I think Miami. Now, here's what's interesting before we move off this.
Yeah.
I bet you LeBron would be interested because, again, that team feels a LeBron away.
Yeah.
And in the East, to your point, that's a good point by you. The Eastern Conference is much more wide open than the West.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to get the hell out of the West.
Yeah.
But Pat Riley is not. He's already sick and tired of Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero. He's taking shots at these guys.
Yep.
He ain't dealing with the LeBron thing again.
Facts.
All right, let's go to the WNBA here. Golden State, we know, has an expansion team. They chose a name, the Valkyrie, which I like. Mm-hmm. And then I tell you another thing I liked is their uniforms are really cool.
Yep.
And that color scheme and all that. So there it is, a combination of strength and grace. The Golden State Valkyries are writing the next chapter in the epic tale of the WNBA. Hey, I like that.
Yep.
You like those colors, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, and Paige Becker likes them too. I'll bring this up. She said they're the prettiest colorway ever.
Yeah, those. I mean, they are dope. It kind of. I get Sacramento Kings that color scheme. So
I can see that.
I like that. So now Toronto, we know, has an expansion team as well. What do you think their name will be?
I was mulling over this all day, and I came up with two names, okay?
Okay.
One playing off the Raptors name, of course, because I always love that when the city combines.
You're going Jurassic.
Yeah, I'm going Jurassic. I want them to be the pterodactyl.
Oh, God.
Without the S. Okay, I'm not super in love with that one, so I understand that look.
Wait
okay?
a minute. Isn't pterodactyl spelled kind of crazy?
With a P.
Yeah, like you can't do this.
Yes.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't do that.
It would be dope.
What's the other one?
And then the other one for the national horse of Canada, the stallion.
Okay, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I'm okay. I'm with you for maybe staying in the Jurassic Park here.
Yep.
Pterodactyl's the wrong. It's just
okay. What other dinosaur?
Yeah,
though?
Let's have a dinosaur combo.
What other dinosaur?
Can you go T-Rex?
You got kids. Probably read all the dinosaur books to them. You probably know all the dinosaurs in the world.
Okay, that's true. My dinosaur knowledge game is on point.
Yeah.
But there's only a few intimidating dinos.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and Toronto Rex, I don't.
Toronto
like that.
Rex kind of
sounds like a hockey team, though.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't sound like
a
women's basketball team, Travis.
Stallions?
Stallion definitely does. You got Meg the Stallion. So why you can't have Toronto
you can
Stallion?
Make Meg the Stallion an ambassador.
Right.
She has no Toronto ties, though,
no.
right?
And
here's what we got to do: is keep Drake far away from all.
Well,
of this.
yeah. You also know she doesn't like Toronto because of
Drake.
Tory. No, because of Tory.
Oh, Tory Lanez is from Toronto?
Canada kid.
Oh,
man.
yeah. No, we can't have Meg. Or
Yeah.
maybe you do have Meg, right? Maybe that's like a healing thing or something.
Yeah, maybe something like
I
that.
don't hate Toronto Rex, dog.
Rex.
You don't like it.
I'm not in on it. I kind of like it, but I just don't think it doesn't scream WNBA.
Are we going to settle on Stallions here?
Yeah, I think we got to settle on Stallion. It'd be dope. I want another color scheme, though. What colors do you think they should rock? Do you have an opinion on that?
So there maybe they could stick with the Raptors, right?
Like the purple and red?
Yeah, although, I mean, we just looked at the Valkyrie.
Right, they're adding the purple as well. Right? And then the Sparks have the purple. I think there's too much purple in the WNBA.
I didn't think of the Sparks. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I would look at around the league and see where are we lacking color-wise.
Yeah,
right?
And that's kind of what I did. I went to that. I don't want to say this as like, girls wear pink thing.
Yeah.
But I think like the WNBA missing out on the opportunity to have pink
Right.
as a whole,
Right.
just with this team, I think it'll be great. Also like red, purple. I feel like, going with the Raptor vibe, red and purple. Pink is a very similar color to those two.
Right.
And like they could just own that color. So every time you see Toronto Stallion or whatever.
I kind of like Stallion.
Stallion or
I think
Rex.
it's growing on me. You say, what did you say that is? Official horse of
Yeah,
Canada
it's the
or something?
national horse of Canada.
I've come around.
Okay. We look, they can take it.
I've come around.
Just give Travis and I a couple of tickets on the first game on opening day. We'll be there. That's all we ask.
I've come around. Listen, you lost me on Pterodactyl. You got me. You got me back.
I knew Pterodactyl wasn't great.
Yeah, no, you got me back on the ride with the Stallions. I'm with that. All right, let's talk Caitlin Clark's debut
Yep.
against the Sun. I mean, we all watched the game. Tay, I know you're going to give me the numbers, but I thought, got pushed around in the first half.
Yeah.
Bodied, thrown around, boxed out, thrown to the ground,
Yep.
double team, push, you name it.
Yep.
And you know what? I thought towards the end of the first half, she started kind of settle in a little bit. And then the second half, she looked a lot better. Way too many turnovers for my liking.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, especially after having that first half that she had,
Mm-hmm.
I like how she rallied in the second half, showed toughness, showed aggressiveness. I thought in totality, it was a pretty good debut.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't say pretty good, but she definitely needed to be a little bit better. 20 points, 10 turnovers is the real key.
That's
there.
the key.
5 for 15 from the field, which isn't great, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's really just a tip of the hat, honestly, to Dejanay Carrington. She
Yeah.
was locked in all game on Caitlin Clark, and she was just a menace, honestly, on
Yeah.
defense, which is why Caitlin had those 10 turnovers. I
Yeah.
remember she had one at half court, and Dejanay just picked her clean and went to the rim and got a layup. That's how locked in she was last night on the defensive end.
Right.
And then DeWanna Bonner, shout out to her because she just eclipsed the fifth spot in all-time scoring in the WNBA. So applause to her.
Yep.
She's been an amazing WNBA player her whole entire career.
Yeah.
And she's going to continue, hopefully, to climb up that list. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we called this game, didn't we?
Yeah.
We said, look, everyone's excited for her debut, but both you and I were looking forward to how the Sun were going to defend her.
Yeah.
And my goodness, they were not messing around. But by the way, Sun are a good team. Everything you said is accurate.
Yeah.
But Ante, every team is going to be coming at Caitlin Clark in this way.
Yeah.
And if anything, now you watch the tape on this game and you say, hey, let's just get physical.
Yeah.
Let's get physical. By the way, over time, she's going to get stronger.
100%.
There were times out there she looked small in comparison to the other women on the court. To be expected.
Yeah.
She's got to work on her game. She's got to get bigger and stronger. All these things will happen. But that's why I say totality, I thought it was a pretty good game. The turnovers you want to cut down, Avi.
Yeah.
But the fact that she overcame the adversity she came in that first half, got her stuff together, and then put together a really good second half, sans the turnovers.
Yep.
I think it was a decent game. And by the way, the turnovers are not going to stick around. The
I agree.
defensive game plan will stick around,
Facts.
right?
Yes.
But I think she'll clean up the turnovers.
Yeah.
Tay, as always, man, we appreciate you, brother. Nice job, per usual. And that's actually, how I want to end the show here on this Hold My Banner is just looking at the numbers of the impact of a Caitlin Clark. This is why this is not only good for the WNBA, this is good for basketball, period. Look, the game was sold out. It was the Suns' first sellout in 20-plus years. Folks, she can sell tickets. It's not just that. Ratings. This was a nationally televised game. Without the Caitlin Clark effect, this would not be a nationally televised game. So you have that. We'll wait to see what the ratings are. I'm guessing they're going to be pretty good, just like they were. They were phenomenal in college. But I'm going to guess for her opening game in the WNBA, especially when you look at how many people watched the draft and were interested in the draft, I bet the numbers are good. And by the way, this was the cheapest. The cheapest ticket you could find is 6 times more expensive than the Suns' next home game. So not only did she put butts in the seats, but the ticket prices went up too. Great for the league, great for the game. For all of the best content of the day, make sure you follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. For Travis Thomas and the walking, talking, triple-double Ante Campbell, hold my banner, another one in the books, baby. Until next time, when we hold it again, we'll see you then. Peace.